your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
While the world watches the stars at the FIFA World Cup this summer, Hyundai has its eyes on the next generation of talent. The future stars who are already turning heads at age 14. Because next doesn't wait for an invitation. Hyundai has always moved the future within reach. We did it when we made advanced safety standard on every vehicle and engineered EVs with ultra-fast charging capability. Because the future isn't some far-off concept. It's already here. Next starts now. Hyundai, an official partner of FIFA.
When I wake up, the best mornings in the morning light start with Wrangler. I pull on my jeans and I feel all right. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, don't worry about me, I called ART.
Traffic. Are no major problems, but be aware of construction on I-135 northbound on the ramp to Kellogg West. From the Accident Recovery Team Traffic Center, that's your Odyssey Wichita traffic. Weather.
Good morning. Showers and storms to start the day will eventually turn into partly cloudy skies. East winds 5 to 15. Cooler, but still humid, a high of 83. Mostly cloudy and 67 tonight. We'll see a couple of storms on Wednesday morning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and a high in the lower 80s. Continued with clouds on Thursday. Highs in the mid-80s and a small chance of a storm. That's your forecast from Storm Team 12. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn.
I'm Jacob Albrook.
I'm TJ Cleland.
25 years, one show. Wichita's sports conversation starts here.
Sports Daily, live and local, weekday morning, 7 until 11.
On 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey Wichita, it's Jacob Albrook. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily coming up next, exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. I don't want to overstate this, but a national crisis has been averted. The OKC Thunder are not going to defend their crown after crashing out in Game 7 of the conference finals at home against the Spurs. The Thunder truly are something. A group of individuals that really aren't unlikable, but a team that seemingly no one outside of OKC ever wants to see ever again. So we get the finals that everybody else in the world wanted, Spurs v. Knicks. San Antonio arriving way ahead of schedule with the future face of the league. No, the current face of the league in Wemby, and going up against a Knicks team that's on an all-time heater and looking for their first title in more than 5 decades, and led by a dude in Jalen Brunson who, never mind ending up on their Mount Rushmore, could get his own freaking mountain altogether if he and they can somehow pull this off. Absolutely love this matchup. Too soon for my prediction, but you know it's coming soon. I'm Jim Rome.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org. For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Hello, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such movies as The Erotic Adventures of Hercules and Dial M for Murderousness.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH, this is Sports Daily.
Dynamic, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is, Homer. Dynamic here. Jacob Albrook, Brady Bowman with you on a Tuesday. Busy Tuesday. A wildly busy Tuesday for a summer Tuesday. We got lots of fun for you today. We're rocking and rolling through a college postseason. Baseball and softball have been very entertaining, including for KU. History made already. More history made with some good news yesterday. We'll explain that to you as they continue to the Super Regionals. Brian Hanni will join us a little bit later. Speaking of college baseball, that we've been well documented and admitting here that this is something we love to just sort of, bandwagon a little bit, jump on board with as it happens. Well, we happen to work with a guy who is a junkie, a diehard. So we're bringing in Dylan Domingue today to help us understand what we're seeing. What are the storylines? We'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the show, so that'll be fun as well. A big NFL news day yesterday. Nothing for the Chiefs yet, so we'll keep our eye on that. The Royals advance in the first game of the series and get a big win, 9-2. Maybe the thing we keep waiting to say. Maybe this is the thing that wakes them up, but we'll dig into it. It's all coming to you here today on KFH. It's all coming to you. What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring Go Hazy Folks IPA, a beer that's as soft and dreamy as a day game with a hint of mischief, just like our national pastime. This one will ease you through the innings of life until the big moment when, once again, it's time to go hazy, folks. WBC with pizza and beer made here. Thanks for listening to us on KFH. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected. All the video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, also on the Odyssey app. We're glad to have you however it is that you're here. Brady, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jacob. Some poetry there by WBC.
Yeah, they've got a few of those on these reads now.
That was beautiful, Jacob.
They
beautiful.
Do. Are you ready to rock and roll? Brady, you're in the rest of the week. Is that right?
I am. Yeah. So I got to get locked and loaded all week.
Lock it up.
The big guns.
Lock it up.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it was a fun sports day yesterday. You kind of started, like for me, I started with Georgia Tech, Oklahoma. The Sooners walk it off with an absolute tank in the bottom frame there to walk it off against Georgia Tech, securing KU a spot to host now the Super Regionals, which is just so cool. So KU hosts Oklahoma in the Super Regionals. So you start the day off there. Then you're walking around and you're like, excuse me, the Browns and Rams did what? They did what now?
Miles said they never trade him.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we're doing that now, huh? We'll get into this later, but holy smokes. Only one of the, top probably 10 players in the NFL, maybe the top defensive player in the NFL on the move. Then the Eagles do what we thought they'd do, and they trade A.J. Brown to the Rams. To the Patriots. Yeah. And I just got to tell you, Brady, and I know we'll dig in later, feel like the Patriots paid a little too much there for A.J. Brown. But we'll get into that in just a little bit as well. Juju Smith-Schuster finds a new home that is not Kansas City. So now we're just like, okay, here we go. Who else is going where? Because we know there are more moves. There are big-time players still out there just as free agents, and the Chiefs, they got a little money burning a hole in their pocket, so we'll dig into all of that. So you have all that happening, and then you get the Royals with a first-inning grand slam, if anybody saw or heard it. You have that. They get a win, and then Texas Tech gets the double wins to reach the College World Series, if you're watching the softball at all, to take down Bama. Like, it was a wall-to-wall hodgepodge of sports things to just kind of pique your interest. We haven't even started the NBA Finals. Yesterday felt loaded on the sports calendar. This is supposed to be the slow time of the year, but it wasn't. It was a fun day yesterday.
They knew we had a show coming up. They knew we needed some content, #content. We are chock full of it this morning.
Brian Hanni should be with us. He wasn't able to join yesterday. Should be with us today, though. That'll be in the next hour to talk about all this KU stuff. You just got to get in. This has been a wild start to the NCAA baseball tournament. I wonder if it's more wild than normal. We will ask Dylan Domingue that, as he has followed this. This is like his thing. We're going to name him like our senior college baseball correspondent or something fancy like that. He came from the world of the LSU Tigers. So you must follow this closely. And he did. He worked there as a sports guy for a long time. And so he just, this is just kind of his thing. You know, we all have our things. College baseball happens to be his. So as we're water coolering it around the office, I'm like, why don't we have you in here? Like, we just ask you questions all day about the college baseball tournament. Like, hey, what's this? Hey, what's this? Let's get you in there.
He has the answers. He's usually like at his desk sometimes. I mean, just I'll walk by and I'll look over at his screen and he has some college baseball on. And not just during this playoff run. I'm talking like regular season college baseball.
Just catching a midweek.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just what I'm like, are you crazy? Another headline, Brady. Momcilovic finds a home. And it was where we logically put it together, Kentucky. So it was kind of Kentucky had to get somebody, and he was in a prime position to go take advantage. And I'm sure, and I haven't seen any of the numbers or anything thrown around, but I'm sure it was massive. It's the team that came in second, I think, that was that reportedly came in second. That was the wild part, was Louisville. Were they going to just keep going and add him too? That would have been wild, but Kentucky gets him, and Iowa State loses him, which is a bummer for the Big 12, but Mark Pope's got to figure something out. That was another big headline yesterday. It's been a day. And again, we're still a day away from starting the NBA Finals.
It's June 2nd.
This is a cool. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm overstating it. I thought that was a really, at a time of year where you can be like, okay, we're in the dog days now. I thought that was a really just all over the place fun sports day yesterday. I think we're about to start the NHL Stanley Cup final here in the next couple of days. So it's the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights. I know Max will be fired up. Max, do you have a pick there for us? Hurricanes or Golden Knights? What are we doing here?
I would say it has to be the Golden Knights, because I thought it'd be Colorado, and I'm going with the Golden Knights because they won it a couple of years ago too. So
it feels like everybody is. That starts tonight, by the way.
I would have liked it to be. It would have been funny if it was the Colorado Avalanche in Montreal, because the Avalanche used to be Quebec, and nobody hates each other more than Quebec and Montreal. But I'm going Golden Knights.
Learn something.
Our French Canadian history
We
lesson.
got everything covered.
It's as bad as the Yankees, Red Sox, or worse.
You know what? Everything I'm seeing says the Knights are too good. They're too I'm taking the Hurricanes. Give me the Hurricanes.
I'm telling you, they beat Colorado, and it was Colorado's lose, and they did.
They did. All right, let's come back. Let's get into these NFL storylines. Myles Garrett on the move. Are you kidding me? And did Max and Brady's Patriots overpay for A.J. Brown? We'll discuss as we make our way through. It's Sports Daily. Thanks for being here, everybody, with us. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping the entire Odyssey facility fueled up each and every morning. We'll be right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH.
Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care celebrating 60 years in Wichita, providing expert lawn care for a healthy lawn, tree and shrub care, and bedweed control since 1966. Longhofer Lawn and Tree Care. Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Brady Bowman with you on this Tuesday. A lot to get to. We've got college baseball talk coming up. We've got Royals talk coming up as they get a win. Maybe the thing that, shakes them loose a little bit. We have NFL talk, though, Brady. Holy smokes. We get one that we sort of expected. Maybe the details a little different than what we expected. And then we get the bombshell.
Yeah.
The Myles Garrett on to the Rams. Now, Myles Garrett, I don't know where do we put Myles Garrett? Top 3 defensive players in the NFL, if not top 1 defensive player in the NFL.
Active,
the Rams get to go from Aaron Donald to Myles Garrett. That just seems unfair.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's basically like if your favorite team is an NFC team and they're not the Rams, well, sorry, as far as next year is concerned, because the Rams already pretty much a favorite anyway. Remember, they were pretty close to the Super Bowl last year, and now, boy, it just seems like it's theirs to take on the NFC side. For sure. It's like, who's beating the Rams now? That's the narrative when we're talking about the Rams and the NFC for the NFL next year.
I think we got to be careful with the impact. This is an interesting one because I like it for both teams. I mean, the Browns end up getting a really talented young player in Verse and a first and a second and a third. I think for them, they're finally honest with themselves in the situation. I mean, you feel for Browns fans, but this is sort of what the Cowboys went through with Micah Parsons, even though Myles Garrett's better than Micah Parsons. Not to take anything away from Micah Parsons. He's great, but Myles Garrett is, he's on to me anyway, he's in a different stratosphere as just about everybody.
Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So you got to look at that position specifically, and it's a critical position, and we have seen good pass rushes take teams to the promised land, but it wasn't going to happen for the Browns. The Browns are not going to win the Super Bowl in Myles Garrett's career, right? No. It's just not going to happen. I mean, are we being real or are we being real? It's not going to happen.
Anybody's career since 1999.
Look at the quarterback. Since Myles Garrett has been in Cleveland, this is the list of quarterbacks, Brady, who have played at least one game.
Oh, do we have that much time, Jacob?
Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Kaiser, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, Jameis Winston, Shadur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Tyrod Taylor, Case Keenum, PJ Walker, Kevin Hogan, Nick Mullins, Jeff Driscoll, Bailey Zappi. I mean, come on. 9 years Garrett has been in Cleveland.
And unreal. I was just about to do the math on that. I was like, wait, what time span are you talking about?
It's only been a top, and these are great polls from CBS Sports. It's only been a top half of the league offense 2 times in 9 years. Has it been better than league average offensively? Okay, they're not doing anything in whatever remains of Myles Garrett's career. So having a player of that magnitude there didn't make any sense to me. So the trade from the Browns' perspective, even though you're trading away that player, makes all the sense in the world. The only position really, I think, in the NFL where you do these things and you look at it and you're like, well, is quarterback. Otherwise, you're just being realistic with the situation. The Browns, by a lot of accounts, had a really nice draft this past year. And they have done a good job of kind of bringing in some talent and doing those things. They're trying to finally build it back up, whatever. It's unfortunate, but Myles Garrett was not going to help them win a Super Bowl because they weren't going to be good enough to win a Super Bowl while he was there. And we see this. So while I do think it's a top, 3 or 4, most important positions in football, it was a trade that made a lot of sense. Same thing with Dallas, right? It's the same thing. Are you going to have a defense good enough to win it while you have this guy? And if you can answer that question as no, then you ought to think about trading him. And he was younger, and they got more for him. But Jared Verse is a good player. It's a good young player that the Browns get back in that. Is he going to be Myles Garrett? Probably not. But he does a lot of great things. Could be a Pro Bowler every year or an All-Pro, let's call it. And then you add him into this other young mix. So for the Browns, I think it makes a lot of sense. Then on the other side for the Rams, who just continue to say blank them picks, it also makes a lot of sense. That's a lot to give up for one player, Brady, but they're so clearly always kind of willing to push it all in. But when you think about, okay, they went and got Myles Garrett, but they also got Trent McDuffie. They also got Jalen Watson. now you're seeing this collection where it's like, it's not just that they got Myles Garrett. It's that they got really good defenders all over the place to bring in. We already know their offense is going to be great. They got Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams and Matt Stafford. And like, we already knew all of that. Now they go and they just continue to add pieces to a defense overall. Yeah, they're going to end up being a pretty heavy favorite next year.
It's interesting because the last time the Rams did something like this, which, by the way, LA hosts the Super Bowl this coming season. So they got a chance to do that. Actually, the last time they won the Super Bowl was when they had the Super Bowl in LA in SoFi. And that same year, that's when they got Stafford. So, and they already had Aaron Darnold. So this is almost kind of like the inverse of that, right? Like, they have the offense, they have the quarterback. Now they go and get their Aaron Darnold replacement finally. So it's like, look out. Because
Aaron Donald was such a dominant player. That's what the kind of, like, you get to go from Aaron Donald to Myles Garrett. And of course, everyone's now like, hey, Donald, you want to come out of retirement? You want to just give it one run? Could you imagine?
Oh, could you imagine?
Smokes. The Rams right now are 6-1 to win it all, which, that's probably about as, I don't remember if any of those Chiefs teams got higher than that. That's about as high as it gets. It's not so much that the next highest is 10-1. So
who's that?
Baltimore. Seattle to run it back is 11-1. I think if the Rams played in a different division, it might be a little better. But because Seattle's there and because San Francisco's there, I think it just kind of keeps it a little bit honest. But, like if you're a Chiefs fan and you think Mahomes might come back and all of these things, they're down to 15-1 now.
Wow.
So it was a fascinating trade that makes a ton of sense to me on both sides. I think both sides, win in this trade. I know Browns fans probably feel like they're the losers on this because you couldn't take advantage of how great Myles Garrett and how dominant Myles Garrett has been. But if you're being honest with it and you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, is the quarterback of the future even on this team? That's a big if. But you just had essentially 3 first-round picks and one at 39. It's technically a second. But you're trying to rebuild this through the offense. Eventually, you're going to take a swing at another quarterback and all of these things. So it made a lot of sense to me for them too. It was a realistic trade and a smart, responsible trade. I think players that aren't quarterbacks, when they're as great as Myles Garrett have been, should be available for trade for teams that are looking themselves in the mirror and saying, nope, not gonna happen for us.
And Burst just needs to be, like you described, he just needs to be a Pro Bowl player for the Browns, and they're golden. Because as great as Garrett's been, that hasn't been enough. So
it just like it won't be enough.
No, not until they get the offense solidified. And wait, 2 of those years that you mentioned, you mentioned 2 seasons where the Browns offense was better than in the top half, better than average in the league. I have to imagine those were the Baker years, and that was pretty much early in Garrett's career.
Yeah.
So it's been nothing since. And honestly, I'm happy for Myles Garrett, because to me, watching a guy that great, that level, and being on the Browns and just knowing in your mind that like he's probably not even going to have a shot at sniffing the Super Bowl, I'm actually kind of happy for him that a player of his caliber now has a road in front of him to reach that next level and to kind of get, I guess, not that he hasn't had attention and deserved attention for how great he is, but now he can really kind of get on that spotlight that I think his career has earned.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good. All right, the other big trade, you and Max, your Patriots, do what everybody knew they would do, and that's trade for A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's a good player. He's a great player. He has been a great player. The Eagles get their first-round pick not until 2028. The Eagles get a fifth, and then a first round in 28. So they get a fifth in 27. Sorry, a first round in 28, and then a third rounder in 29. Okay. What do you? I like, to me, that's a little bit too much for me on the trade. Now, I think most people are grading this as a win for the Patriots. And I get that. I understand why, because they have a need. But man, A.J. Brown's 28 years old.
I think 29.
He'll be 29 at the end of June. So he'll be going into his 29 season. I don't know, man. I think that might be too much. He so clearly wanted to be out of there. Doesn't that feel like they gave up too much? It does to me. Was anybody else swooping in? The Eagles so obviously wanted to trade him. Sorry, that third round pick I mentioned comes back. So it's the first and a fifth next year. It's the first I'm hung up on. The Eagles were going to trade him, right? Like there was no world where he was sticking around.
That's what it seemed like. Yeah.
That seems like an overpay. Like, can you not? And plus, everybody knew you were making the trade. Like, you can't say, you know what, let's make it a second. He's 28, going to be 29. We know what happens to receivers at that age. I think that's an overpay. And I get it. I get it if you're the Patriots. You want to bring in these players. You want to help Drake May. Like, I get it. I don't know if I'm giving up a first for A.J. Brown. Not when it's so obvious he's getting traded. It wasn't like you were in a bidding war. I really don't know, and I'll have to dig into the beats to see. Like, was anybody beating the door down to the Eagles to trade a first-round pick for A.J. Brown?
Not that we've heard. I mean, it hasn't been talked about. That hasn't been in the ether. But here's some stats, Jacob. A.J. Brown.
He's good.
One of 7 players in NFL history, reading off ESPN right here, 8,500 receiving yards, 60 touchdown catches in his first 7 seasons. Only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players have done that. Here's the other wide receivers who've done this. Tyreek Hill, Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison, and last but certainly not least, Jerry Rice. That's a good group of names.
Okay, so who were the most recents there? Tyreek Hill, and some of these, by the way, you're naming like top all-time receivers, which I don't think anybody on the planet would put A.J. Brown there, but he's been very good. So you had Tyreek Hill. Who were the other most recent?
The other names, again, this was one of 7 players in NFL history with at least 8,500 receiving yards, 60 touchdowns. Yep, Randy Moss, Harrison, Jerry Rice. Here's another few stats. Brown and Jamar Chase are the NFL's only 2 players with at least 1,000 receiving yards, 7+ touchdown catches in each of the past 4 seasons. So, yeah, you wonder if the age is if you're going to see a dip. I mean, the thing is, if it's a successful year for the Patriots and they're another contender for a Super Bowl, then it's going to be all worth it. Nobody's going to question if that was a good trade or not. And depending on how they finish, that first round pick that they traded for might be
good.
Late, might be a bottom first round.
So those are interesting names. I just pulled them up. Tyreek Hill in his age 29 season is when he was an MVP candidate, right? That was that, and then it fell off a little bit after that.
That was that first year with the Dolphins, right?
It was, yeah.
Calvin Johnson was Moss when he caught 23 touchdown passes.
Moss has always been great. So the one thing I will say is I've looked all these up, and I looked up Hill, Calvin Johnson, Marvin Harrison to try to find they all did fine into their early 30s. They all bucked the usual wide receiver trend in the NFL, basically. So it becomes a question if you're the Patriots of, is A.J. Brown that? And it's hard to know it because, like, in Philadelphia, when you think about style of play, when you think about all of these things, like, he was successful not even in the right environment for a wide receiver to be wildly successful with Jalen Hurts, right? That's a team that runs the ball. It's a team that does all this. So I think A.J. Brown's a great player. I think that the risk level for the Patriots is high. The only thing that I don't like about it from the Patriots' perspective is it feels like they could have run Philadelphia through the coals on this. I don't think anybody else was trading a first for A.J. Brown.
I think it's the Vrabel connection too. I mean,
that's
a big part of
that matters, and I get it.
Yeah.
And look, yeah, you're right. If he helps them this year and he's great, nobody's going to care that they traded that first round pick. So they get their guy. It's hard to imagine A.J. Brown alongside the names that you just mentioned, but he has never played in a high-octane passing offense either. Not that that's what the Patriots are going to be, but like he's done it without, Peyton Manning as his quarterback, Matt Stafford as his quarterback, Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback, Joe Montana, Steve Young as his quarterback, or Tom Brady as his quarterback. I think that covers all the quarterbacks on the list you just named. He's done it with Ryan Tannehill, right? Who was his quarterback?
That's what I was going to say. He made Ryan Tannehill a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Ryan Tannehill and Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has been very good, but Jalen Hurts is good for a lot of reasons that aren't like he's not some sling it 50 times a game quarterback.
He's an intangibles type of
so maybe you're on to something here. And maybe once we see him, and we'll see on Drake May, it's probably a little too early to anoint Drake May the way he finished last year. But did you watch Super Bowl?
He had that shoulder issue.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're a little early, maybe just a hair early.
They drafted A.J. Brown, but they took N'Keal Harry instead.
Right.
There's
don't say that name, Max. Don't say that name. Look at the wide receiver depth chart now for the Patriots. Now remember, they got Romeo Doubs too. So they got Doubs, Booty, who was really good last year, especially on the deep ball.
They want to run him out of town.
Watch your language. It's a family show.
They want to run Booty out of town for some reason.
They're much better at wide receiver than they were a year ago. I'll give you that. And they had Steph Diggs.
They have depth now. There's depth.
They've had some most okay receivers, but A.J. Brown is an upgrade for sure. We'll see if it pays off. It's a bold move. It's a bold move, Cotton. But it was I feel like a first round. I just feel like they could have got away with less. All right, when we come back, let's talk college baseball. Our senior college baseball correspondent, and maybe some other additional names to the title. Dylan Domingue is going to join us next. Here we go. It's on Sports Daily.
This is Sports Radio KFA.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Sports Daily is on KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
There it is. Senior college baseball correspondent Dylan Domingue joining us now. How's that sound, Dylan? We've given you this great title.
And maybe the only senior insider that I can get, and maybe the only title I can have, but I know I am a sicko when it comes to it. I realized it's Saturday night when I was locked into UCF Milwaukee at 11:45 at night. So
why? But explain to people why you're a sicko for college baseball.
So in South Louisiana, that's where I'm from, really just in the South in general, college baseball is everything. So in Louisiana, we don't have a Major League Baseball team. Arkansas doesn't, Louisiana doesn't, Tennessee doesn't, Mississippi doesn't, Alabama doesn't. Yeah, you got the Braves, you got the Astros, you got the Rangers. But in those states, college baseball is everything. I mean, look at the Super Regionals this weekend. Just in the state of Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, and Troy is hosting the Super Regional. So college baseball really is so important down there. It's the culture down there. I mean, LSU on a midweek game Tuesday night will have 10,000 fans in the stands. You know, not many other places can say that. So you're really kind of rooted in that culture. I got to cover 4 regionals in Baton Rouge, whether I was a student reporter or working there professionally at the time. So I'm just locked in. Even with LSU being out of the regional this year, I'm still locked in.
All right, locked in. So a couple of things. And you got to tell us, because this year feels wackier, right? I saw this this morning, but I think this was made official last night. First time ever, none of the teams who made the College World Series last year even reached a super regional this year. First time we've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's crazy given everything. Of course, big storyline was LSU being the reigning champs last year. They won 2 of the last 3 World Series. They don't even make a regional this year. UCLA, the number 1 overall seed this year, was the first number 1 overall seed to lose their first game. They lose to St. Mary's. UCLA hadn't lost 10 games all year. They go and lose to St. Mary's College twice in the same weekend at home. This is also the same postseason for college baseball that 2 4 seeds have made the super regionals. There's a lot of parity in this. There were 16 host sites. Only 9 of the host teams in the regional made it onto the super regional as well. So I have a hot take brewing. To me, NCAA regional play, the weekend of regionals, is more exciting than the first weekend of March Madness.
Whoa.
For me, I may be the only person that feels that way, only person that thinks it. But what I like about college baseball, and I know they say college baseball, it's amateur. There's so much. I like the wackiness of it because there's so much parity. The fact that we have Little Rock versus Troy in a super regional for a spot in the College World Series, you just don't get that in any other level. And so I like that part of it.
That's a good point because it basically what you just described is kind of like when the Cinderella makes a run at March Madness, except what you're talking about is like there's more than one Cinderella. Really, we're not even seen as Cinderellas.
You have blue bloods in college, but they don't always dominate the sport, and that's what I like. I mean, USC has the most World Series wins out of any team in the country, but USC for the last 20, 25 years really hasn't made a run at a title. LSU's kind of taken that run since the 90s, but think about the run Wichita State made in the 80s and 90s. I mean, that came out of nowhere, but there's so many good teams that, there's national powerhouses in the super regionals this year, but you got Cinderella stories that could very easily just get hot at the right time and make it to the College World Series final. Of course, KU is one of those teams as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, are we ready to crank the hog for KU? Like this shapes up for why not? Right? Like, why not?
I have played out more perfectly for KU and the way it ended. I was saying when the bracket first came out and they got Arkansas and Missouri State, Arkansas and Missouri State do not like each other. So they were going to get fired up over each other anyway. But then you put Arkansas in the same regional at KU hosting for the first time. And with Arkansas was one of those teams that came into the postseason right on the verge of will they host or will they be probably one of the highest 2 seeds. They made a really good run in the SEC tournament. A lot of people thought they were going to end up hosting at the end. They didn't. So they go to KU. A lot of people thought that was only going to fuel them more. And all KU did was shut down all the haters, right? They took care of business. They go 3-0 in their super regional. All they get to do is sit back and watch the winner-take-all game for Oklahoma and Georgia Tech. I think if you're KU, obviously you want Oklahoma to win for multiple reasons, but KU showed this weekend that they can be in a slugfest with anybody. One team you don't want to be in a slugfest with is Georgia Tech, who can just hit the ball out of the ballpark better than anybody. I know what we saw from this weekend from Oklahoma. Oklahoma statistically is, honestly, I know they're in a super regional. They haven't been that impressive this year. Bats haven't been great. They don't really hit for average. They don't hit for power. They don't hit a lot of home runs. One of the worst in the SEC when it comes to hitting home runs. Pitching staff is an ERA above 5. KU's ballpark plays small. We've seen it this weekend. Tyson LeBlanc took well advantage of that. He had 3 home runs this past regional. I think if that ballpark plays the same way it did this past weekend for this weekend against OU, KU can make their first trip to Omaha for sure.
Wow. How crazy would that be? And, as we all know, I'm a K-State guy, and I remember some of the runs that K-State has been on being so close to Omaha. And that's one thing when it comes to college baseball, when you're talking Omaha and that's your team, that's up there, Dylan, when you're talking about the March Madness comparisons and when you get that excitement when a run happens It's very similar to that. I remember just how crazy Manhattan went when they went on their runs, and we're seeing it in Lawrence, and just the craziness and just how much the fan base is embracing it, and the fun that they're having. And this KU basketball or baseball team, and I know we'll talk with Brian Hanni about this a little bit later, but boy, they are really embracing that role and embracing the excitement of being the Jayhawks sports program this year to make a run. Football's had its hype with Leopold, and then of course, basketball always has the excitement. Now baseball is kind of embracing those are big programs. Maybe you can kind of say disappointed maybe a little bit this year, and they're embracing that nope, we got the momentum, we got the crowds, and everybody's paying attention to us. And boy, it is exciting, and that's an exciting thing about college baseball. Basically, you give your university to end the sports year on a really, really high note, and that's what the Jayhawks are doing so far.
Well, think about it. I know KU fans would have traveled really well to Atlanta if Georgia Tech would have won yesterday. Oklahoma gets the walk-off to beat Georgia Tech at home. You got OU making the short trip up to Lawrence, in perspective speaking, right, to go to a super regional. I mean, that ballpark sits just over 4,000 people. The students are going to be packed in there. The fans are going to be packed in there. We just saw for this regional, the stars, basically, for KU out supporting baseball as well. The student section going crazy out there. The whole outdoor fence lined up as well. It really has been a home field advantage, and that's what you love to see, that they can have that. And if they're going to host a super regional, that place is going to be pretty electric. We're going to find out here, I guess, in the next hour or so if the games start Friday or Saturday for KU. But that place this weekend is going to be a lot of fun.
We'll see if voice of the Jayhawks, Brian Hanni, has any insight on that in the next hour. Senior college baseball correspondent Dylan Domingue with us here on Sports Daily. I'm looking at all the super regional matchups. Yep. The SEC will be well represented, certainly. Georgia, Mississippi State, Texas, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Auburn. Was that about half the field? Right there for the SEC? I think I know your answer to this, but if I gave you the SEC or the field, who you taking?
Yeah, I'm going the SEC. I just think, you're going to have a couple of the Cinderella stories bow out with Little Rock and then Troy playing each other, so one of them's going to knock each other out. Alabama plays St. John's, who came in as a 4 seed. St. John's was one of the 2 4 seeds along with Little Rock. I think Alabama gets past that. Important to note, don't want to get ahead of myself here. If KU were to move on to Omaha, their first game would be the winner between Alabama and St. John's, which, again, I think if you look at the rest of the regionals, that probably is the best matchup, again, they could have in the first round of the College World Series, because Alabama is one of those teams, very streaky. Pitching staff really isn't great. You just can run into a hot bat every now and then. I'm taking the field. To me, I still think the 2 best teams, even before Georgia Tech got out and even before UCLA got eliminated, I think Georgia is the best team out there, and I think Auburn's the second best team. Interesting with Georgia, though, Trey Phelps, one of their best hitters, gets ejected from the last game of the regional. He's going to miss the first game of the super regional. And Mississippi State is not a team you want to mess around with. Yeah, Georgia gets the host, but if you go down 1-0 in a super regional, all Mississippi State has to do is win one more game. So Georgia's got to fill that one out a little bit. If Georgia can get to Omaha, I do think they won it all.
Can we, the heat, the energy, we got a couple of minutes. The pimping on that home run was as excessive as I've ever seen. So I'm always let them go and let them play. But I'm like, man, what are these umpires supposed to do? That was a 6.5 minute home run trot. And we've seen double birds thrown from pitcher to hitter. It gets interesting out there in college baseball.
And he just let the opposing dugout hear. If it was his, when I first saw it, I thought it was his dugout that he was doing that to. No, that was the opposing team's dugout, and that's a no. Yeah, and then he did a good minute and a half walk around the diamond, around the bases there to get the home plate, and Yeah, he got out. The coach got kicked out too. I don't know if that actually impacts the coach for the next game if he's out as well. But Trey Phelps is an electric player. But Georgia has some electric moments. We've seen it a couple times. It's regionals. I mean, these are college kids that are probably playing baseball. There are players that are playing baseball this weekend for the last time in their careers. You will see that emotion come out of them. I'm usually a fan of let the kids play, but some of the home run pimps you gotta.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad. One other storyline locally for people: Paul Schoenfeld out of Bishop Carroll, Wichita native. He's starting his 5th season at West Virginia. They advanced the country roads singing. How
that was a cool scene.
How much people love it that have watched the number of KU fans I know that are so fired up that have watched absolutely zero college baseball, maybe before the Big 12 tournament, but probably even before now, is so much fun. That's what I love about college baseball. That's why we've hired on a senior college baseball correspondent here to Sports Daily. Dylan, checks in the mail. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Well done.
Our senior college baseball correspondent, keeping us locked in. I was just about, before we started that, I was just about ready to talk trash to the SEC and say, oh, look, they're not even in it. And then I look at the field. Half of them.
They're like, oh, that's
come on, man. Like, get out of here. SEC. God, it'd be hard to turn down. If you're a great high school baseball player and you're just looking at the calendar and you're just looking at the weather, and you're like, yeah, maybe I should go play in the SEC. I don't know about the February baseball weather in a lot of parts of the country. As somebody who grew up in a similar weather climate, like that first part of the high school baseball season, you're just like, come on, do we really have to go outside? All right, we're coming back. We've got Brian Hanni, speaking of KU baseball, coming next hour. We'll get to some other things. The Royals get a win. Is that a sign of things to come? We'll talk about it in another hour of Sports Daily.
This is not
lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
8310 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Hello, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such movies as The Erotic Adventures of Hercules and Dial M for Murderousness.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Dynamic, isn't it?
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Brady Bowman with you for another hour here. Lots of fun, interesting stuff to talk about. We've been talking college baseball in what's been an absolutely wild start to that postseason. You had a pretty interesting, wild and crazy women's college World Series day. If you missed that, you had both Texas and Texas Tech win a couple of games, elimination to get to the final, which was pretty interesting to set up that rematch. It's fun. I've had fun with that one too. We've got the Royals we'll talk about in just a little bit, some major NFL trades. It's all what's on tap. Brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, now featuring the cheeseburger and pizza dice pizza, beef, American and Monterey Jack cheese, pickle, onion, burger seasoning, drizzled with a tangy burger sauce. Cheeseburger and pizza dice, WBC, your summertime pizza made here. We've got you on the airwaves at 97.5 FM, 1240 AM, right here on KFH. You can call us there, 869-1240. You can leave us comments on all of our different video streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, where you can find them on social. Thanks for also watching us on 12 News Connected. Thanks for listening on the Odyssey app. You can leave voice messages on the Odyssey app. If you're in a hurry, if you're listening to us in podcast form, maybe you're listening down the road and you want to just chime in on something we've said, you can leave us voice messages. We can get those. And you can send us an email as well, sportsdaily@kfhradio.com. Got some listeners that still like to shoot us an email, which we appreciate. It's your show. It's a people's show here, Brady, as we're just trying to, get you entertained through your day, make your day a little less daunting, to have a little fun with it. Normally we do some headlines I missed here, Brady. We're not throwing that at you just yet, but it's coming if you're ever here.
It's coming.
In for TJ. We're going to make you scour We're going to make you scour and go into the slush ponds that we have TJ live in for, the social media storylines and all the other things he's able to dig up there. But instead today, let's spend this time and talk a little Kansas City Royals baseball. Now, we keep grounding them because they keep playing so badly that it's like you're grounded. We're not going to talk about you. But a 9-2 win, a series opener. Okay. All right. They get some good fortune. The Reds have a really, really good young starter, Chase Burns, who is sick. We don't know yet, I don't think 100% if he's going to be out the rest of the series, but the Reds are listing starters that are not him for the rest of the series. So maybe finally a bit of good fortune for the Royals if they're able to miss Chase Burns's turn through this rotation. And when I say good, I mean like he's a Cy Young contender good. So you come in and the Reds get a bullpen game and you take full advantage. Lane Thomas has the first inning grand slam, and then you get, he had a double in the game too. He had a great game, just period. It's good to see that. But Jack Caglione had another home run. Vinny Pasquantino had a couple of hits. So certainly some positive signs for the offense, but that's what should happen when you're facing a bullpen game and a team scrambling with their back in the wall. I think, the 9 runs jumps off the screen at you, but Luinder Avila is the bigger story. Brady gave him 5 innings of 1-run baseball against a good team so far this year. So good night for the Royals. It's been a while, right? Since they've had one. Losers of 16 of 19 going into last night.
Dare I say it? Are we back, Jacob?
Oh, come on.
Are we back? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was nice to see yesterday, especially like you said, Vinny and Cags. I mean, I think you summed it up in a way that's kind of like, this is what we hoped for, kind of expected to start the season. This is what we
it's what you should see when a team a last minute scratch like that. It's like, okay, go pounce on it. And they did.
Yeah, they took advantage. And I think that's the thing that's been frustrating watching the Royals so far this season is that they have not been taking advantage of situations at times. Like when they went into the 9th with leads and, just kind of choking on some things. And that was good to see. That was kind of like it was kind of looking at the scoreboard, look at the box score last night. It was kind of like, whew. It's kind of like an exhale sort of moment.
Well, and you just keep waiting for the one that's going to spark a bunch of them, right?
Right.
Like, okay. They got 7 on the road this week. They haven't been very good on the road. What if they go 5-2
on the road?
What if they go 5-2 this week? Is that enough to kind of be like, okay, does that make us feel better? I think another thing with the pitching last night is they got rest for pretty much all of the guys that you would envision in a close game. We still don't know what happens the next time Lucas Ursig is up in a save situation. Do they go to Ursig? Are they doing anything different? He's been awful in his last 2. Now, maybe that's hard. He's given up a lot of hits. Let's call it that, because I don't know if he's been awful. His results have been awful. A lot of soft hit contact, but it's the collection of the parts that make the end result so bad for what we've seen out of him. But he's blown 5 saves this year.
Yeah, it's the clutch time.
I think the Royals have blown 6 saves. He's blown 5 of them. And I'm an Ursig guy. I think people that listen to this show know that. I'm so enamored with his stuff. But, you got to be effective in that role, and he hasn't been enough this year. So do they keep going? Is it too early? I don't know. I don't have a real strong opinion on that. So I'll say this. I'm not going to blame Q yet. If they get in that situation and he rolls Ursig back out there and Ursig struggles. I think it's probably okay if you try it again, but we're to the point where if it happens again anytime in the next 3-4 appearances, then you got to start thinking about a change in that spot. They can't afford to keep losing these games they should win. If you talk about the Royals just this year, Brady, and what I believe they have 6 blown saves. I think it might be more because of extra innings, but between Estevez and Ursig, let's say those jobs get finished. You're talking about a team that's 29-31.
It's a totally different conversation.
Totally different season.
Yeah.
So I think they got to be real careful, to try and eliminate that as best you can. I'm not saying I have the answer to that. I don't have the answers to that right now with the injuries that they're dealing with. But if you could just remove that piece of this year, it would be we'd be having very different conversations about this team as a whole. It's probably not been talked about enough, in fact. But because other things happen, you kind of forget how many times they have blown it at the end of games. So you'll get a pretty good pitcher tonight in Andrew Abbott. He's been white hot lately, but he'll go tonight, and then you get what looks like Chris Paddock in the closer, and he's been bad for a while. He just feels like, target practice up there sometimes late in his career. So Royals have an opportunity, at least at minimum, to win this series. And, Brady, a good week before they get maybe some guys back with some good health. And, then maybe we can have some different conversations about any sort of optimism that feels like it's just not there at all. That's how desperate we are. They win a game to open a series, and you're just like, oh man, maybe that could be it. But
just the fourth in the last 20, right?
But then you also are like, yeah, but that's just their fourth win in the last 20 games.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe we should pull that back.
But it gets you back in. It gets you back into feeling like, oh, maybe there's, especially for our purposes, there's something to talk about.
Look, I think what gets you back in is you remember how much talent there is on this team. And some people roll their eyes at that, and I get it. Maybe they're just not that talented. But I don't buy that. It's hard for me to look at Jensen, Witt, Kaggs, Vinny, Salvi when he's there and not think like, that's different than the Rockies that suck. Like, name me 3 Rockies players right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think that's probably for people that follow the team. The thing that gets us is it's like, maybe. Like, is there still hope? Maybe. Did they make up? I haven't even looked at this yet. We'll check this live on the air. Did the Royals make up any ground in the wild card last night? They did. They gained a half game.
Half game, yeah, that's what I thought.
They gained a half game in the wild card. 6 games back. How about that? How about that for optimism? But you look at the teams that they're kind of chasing there. Are we going to buy into the Yankees? Will be good. The Yankees will be awesome. Okay, there's 2 wild card spots you're playing for.
Exactly.
Are we really buying the White Sox? I've been a great story this year, but that's a divisional team that you'll get to play still down the stretch. Toronto has a huge payroll, so they're one I think you got to watch and kind of wonder if they ever get hot. Texas can pitch like crazy, but they've got their own flaws. The Athletics, are they there yet? Baltimore, Minnesota, like none of thosteams. Houston's not very good. Boston, kind of like the Royals. You just feel like they're underachieving a little bit. Hold out hope. We'll have Royals baseball again tonight here on KFH. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30. All right, we'll come back. We got more Royals for you. More Sports Daily for you. We'll see if we can connect with Brian Hanni today and more. Stick around.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Busy.
This is Sports Daily on KFH.
And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And we are happy to be joined now by voice of the Kansas Jayhawks, Brian Hanni, keeping him busy. Maybe a little abnormally busy. Brian, it's June. You're like, what is this baseball that we're dealing with here in June? How are you this morning?
Hey, doing good, Jacob. Sorry to be tardy to the party and not able to join you yesterday, but thanks for the grace. Certainly excited about this unprecedented success for Kansas baseball. We made one trip to Omaha back in 1993. That was in a 48-team field, so you didn't have super regionals back then. But this group in their first ever supers has tied that 1993 team in terms of 45 victories on the season. And we're experiencing things never before seen at Hoagland Ballpark in terms of fan enthusiasm. So these are rare times to be savored and cherished, and hopefully the best is still in front of us.
Brian, how's the voice holding up? You're not used to doing this thing this late in the season.
I'm good, man. I appreciate you asking. Right now, juggling this and the Round Ball Classic, which is the reason why I committed to come on originally, which is in our 18th year of raising money for pediatric cancer patients. That hitting on the same week was not obviously something we anticipated. We knew it was a possibility, but we're glad. It's as busy as I'm going to be probably in the next 20 years, these next 4 days. But hopefully we'll have an awesome couple of events to raise money for those patients, 3 of which are from the Wichita area, and then get a big series win over Oklahoma and punch our tickets to the College World Series.
I mean, have you sent a gift package yet? Have you sent that down to Norman? Because as crazy as it was going to be, between Lawrence and Atlanta, a little jet setting, now you get to do it all right there at home. How wild was that yesterday? I mean, Kansas, I don't want to say Kansas breezed through because that'd be an overstatement, but to get there and watch Oklahoma do what they did, that was almost as fun the last 2 days as watching Kansas, was watching them get the job done.
It really was. I mean, we were updating their score as the play-by-play guy almost as often as I was updating the Kansas-Arkansas score, just because we knew if Oklahoma were to upset Georgia Tech, we'd have a chance to host the Supers. And it was such a historic weekend with the expansion of Hoagland Ballpark to now 4,000 with what they've opened up in the backyard beyond the left field fencing and down the left field line, and the way the fans turned out and were raucous and proud. It was incredible. And we wanted that chance to do it again. It was hard to say goodbye to such an amazing atmosphere, waiting nearly 30 years in the history of that ballpark, almost 40 years, honestly. It was built in 1988 to get an atmosphere like that. And then you love it so much, you want more of it, right? Brady Ballinger, who plays in left field, who was a preseason All-American, he said, man, this was so much fun. We got to do it again. And so as we were heading down the stretch of our game on Sunday night, we were updating that Oklahoma late inning rally over Georgia Tech almost as often. And then all eyes on that game yesterday. I was trying to do round ball stuff and couldn't focus because that game was such a roller coaster. But it's wild. That's the thing about college baseball, and you guys know this well as Wichita State followers too. It's still, it feels like one of the purer forms of collegiate athletics where you can still have as many Cinderella upsets and wild twists and turns as you used to have with March Madness. And you still get some, certainly, but not nearly as many in this transfer portal and NIL age that we live in. And so I love it. I love that this team is comprised of so many overlooked and underrated players that had to go the JC route initially out of high school. And what I love about them is they're scrappy. They're grateful to be here. They've got an awesome attitude, and they're just so appreciative of anything that comes their way. And that's a group that's easy to fall in line with and cheer for. And we've been having a blast covering these young men all season.
Yeah, Brian, you mentioned that. You mentioned all the transfers and kind of the old school makeup, I guess you can say, of this team and program and in a world of college athletics right now that does seem kind of old-fashioned in some ways. We're not talking about some big NIL transfer from another big program. This just kind of seems like the romantic view of college athletics that a lot of us grew up with. We're seeing it in Lawrence. And Brian, I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show, but just watching the dugout and just watching the attitude of these players, the excitement in the stands, boy, it really seems like this team is really just embracing it fully. When you had a football season that you could probably say kind of was a disappointment at the end of the year. On the basketball side, great regular season, a little bit of disappointment there in postseason as far as NCAA tournament. This baseball team for the Jayhawks really seems like they're embracing that opportunity to be like, you know what, we'll be the ones this year to make that deep run, and the excitement and just that joy. You just feel the joy watching this team.
Yeah, I think all that's really fair and spot on. Clearly, this was not the postseason run for football or basketball that we expected it to be. And so 2026 could become the year of Jayhawk baseball, and certainly feels that way. But what's cool is Lance Leipold, Bill Self, they've been at all the games over the regional weekend, and they'll be at the Supers too. And, we've seen them doing everything they can to support Coach Fitz, not just in terms of attendance, but in many other ways too. So everybody's hopping on the bandwagon now, which is really, really fun. But in terms of the joy of the team, absolutely. Like I said, this is a group that largely is comprised of Division II and junior college transfers. When Coach Fitz took over 4 years ago, it was at a time where the transfer portal was taking off, and a lot of these traditional college baseball powers were still investing heavily in high school seniors that wouldn't be drafted, but also really started to shift their focus into spending their resources on Division I transfers. And so while they were all zigging, Coach Fitz and John Coyne zagged. You know John Coyne's name from his days working with the Shockers. And we went the other way, went upstream, and had back-to-back junior college recruiting classes rated #1 in America. And so you're seeing the fruits of those labors now. And some of these guys have been multi-year players. Some of them are just one-year guys, like Tyson LeBlanc. But Tyson has become a household name. We're still getting most folks learning how to say it. It's got a French Cajun pronunciation. It looks like LeBlanc, but it's LeBlanc. And LeBlanc has been hitting LeBlasts left and right, so much so that he took down the single season individual record and the single season team record on one swing. He homered in every regional game. I mean, he's doing stuff we've never before seen in a Kansas uniform. He's been amazing. But because there's so many guys on this group that were not necessarily as heralded or ballyhooed and hyped coming out of high school, or high school draft opportunities, it's scrappy, it's gritty, it's a group that's just now is starting to get headlines and ink and Twitter followers and things like that. And so there's there's a humbleness to them, but at the same time, a self-confidence that, we kind of have a chip on our shoulder for being overlooked, and we're going to go out there and make a name for this program and this team. And as cliche as it sounds, playing for the name on the front of your chest and not your back, honestly, this is a group where the sum of the parts is so much better than any handful of individuals. And yet we also have a couple of guys that I think will be top 3-round draft picks next month in Dominic Vagley and Tyson LeBlanc. And so it's a pretty cool group to be around. Great vibes, amazing leadership in this program. Everything you think you know about Dan Fitzgerald, I promise you it's even better. Such a great coach, such a great recruiter, but twice the human being and just the individual that he is, husband, father, teacher, leader, one of the best guys I've ever been around in my career. And so, like I said, easy group to cheer for, and we're just so proud of them and hope they've got at least 2 more wins left in them, but hopefully 3 more weeks of baseball.
We'll see. We'll get the details, I believe, pretty soon this morning on
9 a.m.
When the Super Regional will play, 9 a.m. Okay. The other reason we have you in, Brian, is the other thing going on right now. The Round Ball Classic, you alluded to it a little bit. A great charity event. We're partners here with 12 News. Your partners there with 12 News on getting this done. So maybe for folks that don't know what the Round Ball Classic is, let's explain that to them, and then there are still opportunities where people can check it out. So first things first, what is this event that's been doing so much good for so long?
Well, this is the 18th year of us getting back 30 to former Jayhawk players, 95% of which are former basketball players. But we get a few football players in there and some other celebrities that have played over the years. Scott Van Pelt's come back for the game, Neil Everett, that kind of thing. But it's a charity event that's just grown far larger than I ever could have imagined when we started this thing in 2009. We've raised over $2 million in that time. And what we do is every year we pick 5 or 6 kids from the Sunflower State. This year we happen to have more Wichita representation than ever before. And for a couple of nights, they're treated like the stars of the show. And we're going to bring back a bunch of NBA guys like Jalen Wilson and Christian Brown and Ochai Agbaji and Sviatoslav Mikhailuk, and former NBA guys like Greg Ostertag and Jacques Vaughn and Billy Thomas and guys like that. But as cool as it is to have those guys in the house and they're playing basketball and signing autographs and taking selfies and everything, the real stars of the show sincerely are these kids. And the best part of the whole night, if you watch on Channel 12, is when after the 40 Jayhawks have been announced, they form a tunnel. We turn off the lights. We play that old Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan intro, Sirius by the Alan Parsons Project. You know how the song goes. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, and the kids come out the tunnel, and the PA guy says, standing in it 2 feet 8 inches tall from Wichita, Kansas. And then they belt out the kid's name. And for that moment in time, they're not thinking about chemotherapy. They're not thinking about losing their hair, or in some kids' cases, having to get a prosthetic. They're the star of the show, and they got these NBA guys slapping them high fives as they come down the aisle. They got 2,000 fans going nuts with the standing standing ovation, and usually not a dry eye in the place either. And so it's a really impactful evening, not just of giving them a distraction and diversion from their reality, but raising life-changing funds for these families too. And so we'll have a chance on Thursday night to bless 5 primary beneficiaries, 11 more kids that we consider the future stars that still get money, but will be considered to be the primary kid in a future year. And then in recent years, because of the inspiration of Yvonne Adams, KJ's late mother, and the generosity of Ken and Missy McCarthy, we've added the Yvonne Adams Legacy Fund, which recognizes 3 parents battling cancer. Because think about it, you're raising your kids, you're working a full-time job, you're trying to juggle all of that and battle cancer. It's unbelievable what some folks go through. And so we honor, recognize, and financially support 3 parents as well. So appreciate the platform to talk about that today. When Jacob first booked this interview, that was going to be the whole conversation. I'm glad we got baseball to talk about too. But yeah, we have a big night of fundraising on Thursday with the game, which will not only be live streamed, but also then the telecast on Channel 12 will be replayed later over the weekend too. Dominic does such an amazing job in coordinating all that. But we'll also have a celebrity dinner the following night with a whole different cast of Jayhawk characters that come in for that. And that's where I could be a busy guy. That's where I'm waiting for 9 a.m. to find out, are we playing on Friday or are we playing on Saturday? Am I going from the ballpark to the stage to raise the paddle and back to the ballpark? What are we doing? Now, I'll be locked in on every pitch. That's the priority this weekend. But we work year-round for this thing. I don't think people fully realize it takes a team and staff of 15 volunteers. Now, nobody takes a penny, that work 12 months out of the year to pull off these 2 nights to bring in this kind of star power. So this is kind of the Lawrence, Kansas version of Big Slick, if you will, if you're familiar with that charity. And so we're fired up for it. It's going to be a wild week. Slept about 4 hours last night, tomorrow night 3, but we're going to get to the finish line. We're going to call some big baseball wins, raise a ton of money for these kids, many of which are from Wichita. And here's how you can help. Don't just watch the telecast on Channel 12 and donate at rockchalkroundballclassic.com. I certainly appreciate that if you do, but some of you might want to come over. And this year, for the first time ever, we're selling tickets in Wichita at Johnny's Tavern. Guess what? Wichita's only bought 15 tickets. Come on, Wichita, let's go. We can do more than that. Half of our beneficiaries are from Wichita. I know it's a drive. I know it's a school night, but support your own. Let's get over here to Lawrence on Thursday night, buy up the rest of those tickets there at Johnny's Tavern, and let's make sure we rally around these families that are in the fight of their lives right now in pediatric cancer. Appreciate you guys giving me the chance to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's rockchalkroundballclassic.com. And now the good news is for folks here in Wichita, you can get those tickets, go up for that, and then just stick around. Because either Friday or Saturday, you're going to be able to watch some KU baseball. See it. If you can't be at the ballpark, I'm sure there are plenty of watering holes there in Lawrence that are going to be the spot to be for the games there. Brian, we appreciate it. I'm curious, as you see the softball World Series, does your time in Lubbock have you compelled to see if the Red Raiders can pull this off? They've sort of become public enemy number 1, and they embrace it.
I was down there for 4 years, and at the time they didn't have anything close to this going with softball, so I wasn't really around that program as much. My role was more with basketball, baseball, and football pregame, but really happy for my friends down there. It's been an amazing run for them now in consecutive years, and obviously we're all fans of Patrick Mahomes, and so anytime he's throwing his interest towards something, you want to get behind it as well.
Right?
No
and
doubt.
The Big 12.
Absolutely.
Let's shut them up down there in the South. Let's get it going. KU's going to have the opportunity against Oklahoma. Go Big 12. Brian, good luck.
I was just going to say, thank you, brother. It's been neat to hear from Big 12 brethren about KU baseball's success, because our conference was very much overlooked and talked down upon by a lot of folks in a certain portion of the country. And so hopefully we can rise up and make statements against the SEC in back-to-back weeks. We'll see. A lot of respect for OU, though. Toby Rowland's a dear friend, and it's going to be exciting to get not just old Big 12 friends together, but Big 8 as well. Can't wait for that this weekend.
Brian Hanni, voice of the Kansas Jayhawks, with us here on Sports Daily. Brian, good luck with the Brown Ball Classic, and of course the baseball games whenever they're played, hopefully on into Omaha here soon.
That's right. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you both.
There goes Brian Hanni, voice of the Jayhawks. Appreciate his visit here with us. Yeah, it's a wild time. That Round Ball Classic's great. and it is a great cause. And I have met a lot of those kids over the years through 12 News, through KWCH. So if you are compelled to give to a great cause, it's rockchalkroundballclassic.com. The event is Thursday. You heard there are tickets available. Just so happens there's going to be some good baseball as well, Friday or Saturday. So make sure that you check it out. And if worst case, just, I'm just looking at the site right now at the bottom. They make it easy. Quick donation. There's a real easy way. And these kids are awesome. They really are. And kudos, by the way, too, to all the former players that come back and participate and give back. That's the other cool thing, I think, Brady, about this baseball thing is how much you see the overall community of universities like jump on board with these things. And it's happening with KU. We knew that. We saw it last year a little bit, the old Crank the Hog thing and Hunter Dickinson buying all the tickets and all this. Like, it just takes a little bit. It's what I love about college baseball. Like, you don't know anything about it until you get to this time of year, and then everybody's all about it. And it's so fun because of the tournament format. Like,
you soak it all in.
It's great. It's what we're so desperate for, of course, with Wichita State to get back to, because there's such a great community for it. But like, just to see it, to see everybody, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go nuts for this? And
the way the students go nuts, it's just kind of like, because going back to my K-State baseball coverage days when they had some runs and some super regionals and stuff like that. And it's just like, I think from a student perspective, from a fan perspective, it's just kind of like, oh, the year's not over yet. Because typically by this time of year,
we don't turn the page just yet.
We're not done. We're not done.
We don't want to do this yet. We'll see. Again, 9:00. Brian said is when the announcement should come on game details. KU Oklahoma, pretty excited.
I love that matchup too.
I do too.
Like how perfectly is everything kind of aligned for KU baseball the last couple of weeks? I mean, you couldn't have written it up any better if you're a KU Jayhawk fan or alum. Not only do you get the super regional, but you are hosting against a former Big 12, Big 8. I love hearing Big 8, right? It's just like, oh, that takes you back when you just hear the words Big 8.
They got a good chance to beat them.
They do.
I mean, they will be favored. I don't know if that's a betting thing. I don't know if they're a betting favorite. I haven't really ever bet college baseball, to be perfectly honest with you, but they'll be the favorite.
Never have, yeah.
And, go West Virginia, represent the Big 12 well here down to the final 16. And, West Virginia's got a real good path. Path. So we'll see if they can get it done. All right, we'll come back. We got more Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, Brady Bowman here with you. Glad to be here with you. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the show. Great time of year to get out there and golf. They're getting ready for the Wichita Open. Still plenty of room, though. 36 holes to choose from. But, boy, if you're thinking about Crestview Country Club this time of year to take a tour, you can go check out the pool, tennis facilities, all the golf. They got kids camps going on every day this time of year. It is wild and crazy out there in all the good ways. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you. Ask about the memberships. Take a tour. Just go check it out. We come back in. Brady, in the first hour, we mentioned the big headline trades made yesterday in the NFL. A.J. Brown headed to the Patriots. Myles Garrett, headed to the Rams. There were other signings. Juju Smith-Schuster signs with the Giants. All eyes now for us go to the Chiefs. And do they add to the roster as it currently stands? We're starting to get a little feedback on Rashee Rice. They expect him to be ready to go for the start of the regular season. No problem. I do think, though, if any of these receivers we're looking at are willing to go be within the Chiefs' payroll restraints, then they should explore those options. Right now, it's Rashee Rice coming off of a knee surgery, apparently, and out of jail.
Yeah, and that.
It's Xavier Worthy coming off an injury. Is he really built to be a high workload guy? We're not sure yet. Travis Kelce's still there.
Because that was the thing about it, Worthy, even when he was drafted. I mean, that was kind of one of the questions, was his durability because of his size. And so far, I think we're still kind of figuring that out right now.
Yeah, we don't know the answer, and he got hurt last year. Thornton's there. I like Thornton. They've drafted a couple of young guys. I mean, they've got right now, if you're looking at the Chiefs, you know that they have guys that are going to have roles. So it's not so much that they need them based on, not having enough guys. Rice, Worthy, Thornton, Royals, Cyrus Allen, who they drafted this year, Royals, who they drafted last year. Those 5 guys are almost certainly making this roster, right? And then you have Kelce. Okay, so that's 6 and you might say, oh, that's enough. The problem with it is Rice coming off of surgery, has all the issues he's had. Worthy, we still don't know. Tyquan Thornton, I think, has his role. But you're looking at a wide receiver list right now of free agents that includes Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Curtis Samuel, Keenan Allen is there available, Hunter Renfrow is there available, Sterling Shepard is there. Like, there are some names there, and Juju would have been one of them too, where you at least have to have the conversations, don't you?
I think so.
I'm looking at a guy right now. Like, when you talk about Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, and Deebo Samuel, like, those are all upgrade type guys for sure. Hill, we don't know about his health. Hill would have to be basically come in for free. But, like, can the Chiefs afford to not explore that? Like, are you so beholden to, because of the draft capital you spent on some of these guys, not even entertaining bringing any of these players in there? Like, I look at Deebo Samuel, for instance, and to me, like, if Deebo Samuel takes, targets away from Xavier Worthy, I'm going to live with that if I'm the Chiefs, right? Like, I don't think they'll need, and that's the other part of this too. Like, we've talked about all offseason, and I still wholeheartedly believe this. Like, their investment has been in the run game. Kenneth Walker, Emmett Johnson, they've really invested in that position. We know they already paid the line. Mahomes coming off injury. So do they need more than the 5 or 6 pass targets they already have that we know are on this roster? No, they don't. I wouldn't say they need it, but if you can get it, and because with the questions that they'll have there, like, to me, this is a year where, man, you know what? If Worthy's gadgety, if Rice is, I still do kind of think this is Rice's last year with Kansas City. If those things are true, then why not bring one of these guys in? It's just kind of a why not. And maybe those guys want a bigger opportunity they could get in Kansas City. That's totally possible too, I guess. But it's interesting to see all of those big names just kind of sitting there. They're all going to find homes somewhere. And for a few of them, you're like, man, those guys are going to make teams better for sure.
Yeah, I kind of wonder about Tyreek. To me, that makes the most sense, especially if you can get him cheap, like really cheap. Which
he's making,
which I think he would be.
Yeah,
yeah. He makes the most sense as far as just like coming back, and he got BMD back too, so it seems like that would be a seamless return for Tyreek Hill, basically to come back to the same system he left, more or less. Deebo is interesting. I think as far as the biggest upside of those guys that you mentioned, if Deebo can remain healthy, I think he has the biggest upside just because of the versatility he has, where he can basically, you like San Francisco, use him as a running back every now and then. I mean, he can kind of do it all. And when it comes to the Chiefs trying to revigorate the running game, throwing Deebo in there, I think Eric Bieniemy can do some creative things with Deebo Samuel. But I worry about his durability and I guess his age at this point. He has a lot of wear and tear. Tyreek makes the most sense for sure. But boy, when you think about the Chiefs on the wide receiver side of things, like, I went through the depth chart right now for the Patriots and their top three guys. That's a way better wide receiver core than what the Chiefs have right now.
But the Chiefs may not need it. The Chiefs may look.
Right,
and here's
they're
the
going
other.
run.
Like,
Yeah.
let's not discount how good Rashee Rice has been when he's been out there. His problem is availability. Like, he's really good, really good. If Rashee Rice is able to perform at his normal level next year, based on contracts that were just given to wide receivers, Alec Pierce just signed for $28.5 million a year. Okay.
Huge.
Wan'Dale Robinson is up around $18 million. Your Patriots just gave Romeo Doubs $18 million.
Yeah.
If Rashee Rice is what he has been and has just like a healthy year, he's going to make a boatload of money. Now, I don't think the Chiefs are going to pay it, right? But he's going to make a ton of money. And so, like, that's a part of it too. How much can you, like, could you go and could you get any of these, any of these available receivers who are, a little bit older, right? I get it that they're a little bit older. Tyreek Hill's 32, Steph Diggs is 32, Debo's 30, Curtis Samuel's out there at 29. What if one of those guys signs, could you get any of them on a 2-year deal? A 2-year, like an incentive-laden 2-year deal to maybe help you next year if Rice goes out? Those are the kinds of conversations I think the Chiefs have got to start having now, because I just can't see a world where they keep Rashee Rice for the money he's going to command with all the things that have happened with him. Now, there's also the big question of, well, does Jalen Royals or Cyrus Allen turn into anything? Which I think is a distinct possibility. I said yesterday, or maybe it was last week, I put it at about 80% chance the Chiefs bring in a receiver. Maybe I'm down to 70. I still think it's a pretty good chance. They didn't have to redo George Karlaftis' deal, I don't think, to get the money where they needed to for their rookies, but they did. I think they're bringing in somebody on a minimum deal. I think that the scenario that's going to play out most likely is which one of these guys don't have a big market right now. Like, yeah, it's like Tyreek Hill would be so great if he came back on a minimum deal. Well, what if a team's willing to offer him $15 million a year? He's not going to come back on a minimum deal in that scenario. Same for all these guys. You think Steph Diggs going to take a discount when somebody gets desperate and offers him a big 1-year contract? No, they're not going to do that. So there's a timing component too. Juju was the most likely, I think, to say, you would just run it back, Juju. And so now he's with the Giants. So we'll just wait it out, and that's probably where they're sitting. They probably had preliminary conversations. They probably said, here's how much money we have. Let's see how the market plays out. And we'd be interested to bring you in here if you don't get a big contract somewhere. But I still think the chances are high they bring somebody in.
It could be a waiting game too. Yeah, it could be a waiting game to see, like, of those guys that we mentioned, especially those big three with Debo and Stephon Diggs and Tyreek. Whichever one of those guys is taken by somebody, I think that'll kind of set the market for the other 2 or 3. And then the Chiefs will kind of weigh that. And, you talk about Rashee Rice, I think you hit it on the head there. When he's healthy and he's there, I mean, he is one of the
very good,
one of the top wide receivers in that top third, I would say, in the league. But what do they always say, Jacob? The best ability is availability.
It's availability.
And he hasn't had it.
Whether it be injury or off-field trouble. I mean,
right.
So I here's what's probably on the way is Rice is going to have a huge year. He'll catch 90 balls or whatever, and then just make a boatload of money in the offseason. Here's the other thing too. Like it's pretty clear with the things that have happened for them to go out on the free 4 thing and make that very questionable decision as a team, for Worthy to continue to so publicly have his back, for Andy Reid which Andy Reid has everybody's back. Like, right. I think they really like this guy. And you can have an opinion on that as much as you want, but locker rooms are tight places and they like him. And, I think if he can get back healthy, it will be full steam ahead with him. Like they're going to just rocket and roll it forward with no reservation of him being the top pass catching option, maybe by far on this team. You know, it's you want Kelsey to be there, but like we don't. Kelsey's get you to the finish line, but then really have it all saved up for a postseason run kind of a player, right?
Yeah,
like
I think at this point with Travis Kelce, you're trying to get pieces in place to open him up. Where early in his career, Kelce was just so dominant, he was opening things up for other people because of the attention that he brought. Now it's kind of the other way around. So, yeah, it seems like it's going to be Kelsey's last year too, don't you think?
Yes, I do think this will be the last year for Kelsey. I do.
So you want to set him up?
You never know, though. I mean, look, if he's as effective as he was last year, then I think, and he still wants to play just because he loves it so much, then he could totally keep playing. It does feel like this will be it for him. I think that the thing that's the hardest to know for the Chiefs, and maybe we'll learn a little something about this at OTA. Where are Jalen Royals and Cyrus Allen, right? Like what could those two guys potentially bring to the table? Royals now in his second year. That I think also is a part of this bringing somebody in equation makes it a little more difficult to get a grasp of, because we didn't get anything out of Royals last year. Nothing. Are they still confident there? Are they beholden to that? I just think with Mahomes, with a roster that if you look at if they get to a position where the defense can quickly come back to it, this will be a team that has every opportunity to win its division this year, right?
No question.
So, and if that's the case and you have the money, that's where it's like, well, just go ahead and go all in and see if one of these other guys will come in. They've had that philosophy for so long. Like, even though it may not even stylistically fit this team that is so clearly going to run the ball more. And I know that's a big, bold statement with Andy Reid, but it just like they just are going to.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Even if it's not, even if you don't even consider it a need. I can accept that. If you don't think it's a need, I'll accept it. But the question becomes, well, why not? Right? Even if you go further down the rung and it's like, hey, Keenan Allen, what are you up to? Like,
yeah, we forget about him.
Like, why not try it out? At least through training camp. What does that hurt? All right, we'll come back. We got a little more Sports Daily here on a Tuesday. It's all Brock and Bowman. Don't go away.